All right, guys, welcome to Take Your Base. I'm your host, Lava Oriana, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, guys, so yes, I'm not in my normal house. I'm on vacation. I'm out in LA. Came out here to get away from New York, but also to see the Mets play the Dodgers. Went to Chavez Ravine this past weekend to go see them play, and gotta say, the Mets showed why they are not on the same level as the Dodgers. The Mets did avoid a sweep. They did avoid a sweep. They ended up winning on Sunday, and that was a big game for us because of the fact that right now the Mets, started the month at first place, right, and then it slowly dwindled down. It went from first to like a day in second place, and then dropping all the way down to third. Right now, they are officially 7 games out of first place, and it just seems like the reality of capturing the NL East is out of our hands at this very moment. But, you know, hopefully there are better days to come, especially with the fact that the Giants are coming to Citi Field on Tuesday, from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then they're having a 3 game stretch with the Nationals, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, with the Nationals. And then after that, they have a doubleheader on the 31st of August, right? Against the Miami Marlins. Then they have, well, it's actually a 4 game series. And then after that, they have to go fly back to Washington, D.C. from September 3rd through the 5th. They have 4 games, one doubleheader. That's Saturday on September 4th. I'm sorry, a 5 game set. I'm sorry, a 5 game set, a 5 game series. And then from September 7th, 8th, and 9th, they play a 3 game series in Miami. So right there, you got a 13 game stretch, give or take, on them. That's gonna be, if the Mets have a good possibility of contending for the NL East, maybe shrinking that lead from 7 games to possibly 2. They have a strong possibility, especially with the fact that Javi Baez ended up playing yesterday's game, and then also Francisco Lindor. He's not yet activated, but everything that I've been seeing online is that he is more than close to being activated. And if we're able to have him, and then we have Jacob DeGrom, which that's a different story right there, then there's a strong possibility that, like, hey, we can win a good 9 out of 13 games, and that can definitely make it a little bit closer of a gap as opposed to being down 7 games to the Atlanta Braves. But right now, there's no way that the Mets are going to contend, at least for a wild card. So it's either the NL East or nothing. But yeah, guys. So going into Thursday's game was a bullpen game for the Dodgers, and the Mets ended up throwing out their Taiwan Walker. Now, it really didn't go that great for Taiwan Walker. Like I said in the previous video, Taiwan Walker has hit a wall. In the past 3 seasons, I believe he ended up pitching just a little bit under 80 innings combined. And the fact that he's well over 100, it clearly shows on how gassed he is. And it's not fully there for him anymore to keep on throwing out there. But the only thing that I can see positive about this is that if we are going to have Taiwan Walker next year on the roster, which I believe he signed a 3-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. If we're going to have Taiwan Walker next year, barring that we don't trade him, then it shows that, he's able to maximize more innings, building up his cardio, building up his strength to go deeper into ball games next season. So that's only the only positivity that could come from this. But yeah, he ended up getting 4 earned runs on Thursday's game, the season opener. The series opener, and it just didn't look that great. 6 innings, allowing 6 hits, 4 earned runs. He only gave a walk, yeah, but 4 strikeouts. Taiwan Walker is not the same Taiwan Walker that we ended up having in the first half of the season, and it just clearly shows. Dodgers ended up throwing out their Corey Knebel as their starter, their opener, and then after that they had Evan Phillips throwing a two innings in the third. Victor Gonzalez, you got Bickford, Bruce Gatterall, Vicia, and then obviously Blake Trinan closing out, getting the save. So that's what ended up happening. J.D. Davis was the only one that ended up recording an RBI in Thursday's game. But then going into Friday's game, that was the game that I ended up attending. And you had, Carlos Cookie Carrasco against what looks to be the good, a good solid, standout of the Cy Young by the Dodgers in Walker Buehler. Now Walker Buehler, I believe he has the lowest ERA in the NL right now, and he pitched phenomenal. He was going deep into the eighth inning. Carrasco, for him missing the majority of this season, right, coming in, this month to pitch. I mean, he looked, decently well. He kept us in the ball game. That Dodger lineup is just stacked with good hitters. They don't strike out. Max Muncy is one of them. Obviously, we dealt with Trey Turner, him being a Washington National, and that lineup knows how to hit. They know how to grind out pitches. They know how to make your pitches wear out, and they're just very good from top to bottom. Trey Turner, Max Muncy, Justin Turner, Corey Seager, Cody Bellinger, even though he's having a bad season. Former Met Billy McKinney. You have Austin Barnes and Walker Buehler. But it was phenomenal stuff by Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler clearly showed why he was looks to be like the favorite to win the NL Cy Young. Go 7 2/3 innings. There was he only ended up giving a home run right before. I believe the home run was given in the fourth inning, and it was by Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso ended up driving in the only 2 runs for the Mets. There was a weird situation in the eighth inning on both sides. Can't remember the umpire's name. I think it was like Nestor something. The umpire that was umping the Friday game. And the ball, Walker Buehler ended up striking out Jeff McNeil, right? Bases were loaded. Now, Jeff McNeil ended up taking the pitch. The pitch seemed to be 6 inches inside the plate. And, McNeil was ready to go to first, and the umpire ended up striking him out. McNeil slams the bat, as he normally does whenever he doesn't agree with a call. Has a temper tantrum, and nothing happens, right? That's fine. We expect that with Jeff McNeil. But then there was a situation with Pete Alonso when he ended up hitting the ball into the ground. It appeared, and it looks like, in my personal view, that it had hit his foot, and that should have been deemed as a foul ball. Now, Walker Buehler was yelling, saying that was a foul ball, and there was that misconfusion as for why the ball wasn't thrown, with any emphasis to first base. But Justin Turner shouldn't have been able to, realize that. Just throw the ball to first base, can't assume anything, and then that would have gotten Pete Alonso out, and that's that. But run ended up scoring. Pete Alonso gets an RBI single, an infield single, and Walker Buehler is mouthing off with the ump. Ump throws him out, and then brings in what's it called, Vicia. I can't forget his first name. Alex Vicia. Alex Vicia comes in with the bases loaded, and Michael Conforto's at the plate. And when Michael Conforto's at the plate, I'm like, oh man, please just get a single. Just connect. You don't have to hit for a home run. Conforto comes up, strikes out, bases were loaded. That would have been a huge inning, a huge opportunity for the Mets to capture the lead. Because I certainly would have believed that if Conforto would have at least got a single, he would have driven at least 2 runs in, and then he put the pressure under the defending champs to see if they are able to counter back. You throw in Edwin Diaz in there, and I'm not saying that Edwin Diaz is a solid closer. He's a top 5 closer by means, in my book, he's a top 10 closer, but that's just because he's a little bit erratic. But you put in Edwin Diaz in there, Mets have a lead, different story. But Conforto strikes out, bases loaded, another missed opportunity with runners in scoring position, and that has been the whole story all year round with the Mets and this offense, is that they leave so many runners left on base with the ability to score, and they just can't come through in the clutch. And then you have next inning, you have Kenley Jansen to close out the deal, and it was a 1-2-3 inning, lights out. See you later. Dodgers leading the series 2-0. I was disappointed because I was in attendance. I was by the first baseline, and I was rooting on for the Mets, but it just, you got to expect these type of things when you have the defending World Series champs who have been in clutch situation after clutch situation. You kind of have an understanding on what you're going to be dealing with going into the ballpark when you're facing this illustrious of a team. Now going into Game 3, you had Rich Hill at the mound, right? Rich Hill was facing Max Scherzer. Now that, was a good game. I mean, I didn't expect Rich Hill to be as good as he was, only allowing 2 runs in the first 5 innings. Mets were trying to make it a ball game, giving scoring in the 5th inning. But Rich Hill ends up after 5 innings, allows 3 earned runs. He gave up 2 strikeouts, but 3 solo home runs. And that's what you can expect with an older Rich Hill. Rich Hill is not going to give you 7, 8 innings and dominate the ball like he used to. He's going to give you 5 solid good innings and try to keep you into the ball game. But the bullpen, did its part. Familia, a good solid inning, only gave up 1 hit. Aaron Loop, a 1-2-3 inning, and then Seth Lugo, a 1-2-3 inning, who has been turning it up as of late. Lugo, in my opinion, is somebody to look forward to as we get closer and closer towards September, if he's going to be able to give you great quality innings coming out of the bullpen. But Max Scherzer was just phenomenal. We just know what to expect as Met fans with Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer was giving you 5 solid good innings, 8 strikeouts, 1 home run, gave up 5 hits. But then after that, you have to give us a bullpen. Blake the Witch Trinan comes in. You have Corey Knebel, and then you have Kenley Jansen once again coming out of the bullpen, getting the save. And that was a 4-3 ball game. Dodgers win, leading the series at that point 3-0. Yeah, and you had a home run by Brandon Nimmo, and then a home run by Pete Alonso were the only 2 runs that ended up scoring. The only 3 runs scoring for the New York Mets in that ball game. But then we go into Game 4, right? Dodgers are trying to go for the sweep. They're trying to embarrass the Mets at in LA, in Chavez Ravine, and Marcus Stroman came to play. He came out to be the baller that he is. He ended up displaying why he has legitimate reason why he could be paid at the salary that he's getting paid moving on forward. Mets gave him a qualifying offer, giving him over $18 million for this one season, and he came out to play. Ended the game with a 2.85 ERA. Marcus Stroman was phenomenal, right? 6 innings, 4 hits, only giving up 2 earned runs, 2 walks, right? And a phenomenal 6 strikeouts, which Marcus Stroman is not a strikeout pitcher, right? This guy can generate so many ground balls to you, all right? And he was able to, neutralize the Dodgers offense, giving the Mets a good opportunity to win. And then after that, you had Jerry Familia, Trevor May, and then Edwin Diaz in the 9th inning. Even though it wasn't a safe situation, Luis Rojas wanted to put out Edwin Diaz out there in a crucial spot to make sure it's a guaranteed win so the Mets bullpen does not blow it. Okay, J.D. Davis came out to play, giving 4 RBIs, giving the Mets a solid opportunity to win, applying that pressure. Mets came out storming in that first inning, scoring 3 runs, and then after that, in the 4th inning, you had the Dodgers coming back, scoring 2 runs. But then the 7th and 9th inning, the Mets just tried to open up that door, scoring 2 runs in the 7th, 2 runs in the 9th, and that allowed the Mets to win 7-2. Now, going into the next series, Mets have a day off today. We're going to be playing tomorrow at Citi Field against the San Francisco Giants. Mets in this weird 13-game stretch that they're having against the Dodgers and Giants. The Mets got swept, at Citi Field by the Dodgers. They lost 3 out of 4. All right, so they're right now 1-7 against the Dodgers. That's horrible. And now they faced the Giants at Oracle Park. They ended up going 1-2. So now they got a 3-game stretch over there. So the Mets are, as of right now, all right, are 1-9. I'm sorry, 2-9 in this 13-game stretch that they're in right now. Man, Mets need to at least try to get 2 wins at Citi Field to just try to even out the playing field as of right now. But yeah, guys, it's almost over. Once you get to the Nationals and Marlins, then the Mets could breathe down a little bit easier. Francisco Lindor should be back. Hopefully, we would have Jacob deGrom out there just to try to rack up as many wins as possible and put ourselves in better position to try to capture or even contend for an NL East crown. But yeah, guys, that's my take. All right, let me guys know what you guys think on the Mets, on how they did this series. Should they be playing J.D. Davis more often? Should they have Pete Alonso more at the 2 spot as well as the 3 hole? What should the Mets do with Michael Conforto? Should they have him, in the lineup? Should they just have him as a glorified pinch hitter? Dom Smith, same thing as well. And should Jeff McNeil just try to, handle situations better with the bases loaded instead of, going a full tyrant? All right. Until then, I'm Flavo Oriana, and thank you for tuning in to Take Your Base, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, guys, and have a good one.